Digital marketing can be overwhelming, especially with all the acronyms like SEO, SEM, PPC, CPC. What do they all mean? In this video, we are going to break down the 5 most common digital marketing strategies, talking about the advantages and disadvantages of each, so you can decide which to use for your business. We're going to be talking through organic social media ads, Google ads, SEO and influencer marketing. And you can use the chapters down below to skip through to whichever ones you are most interested in, but I would suggest watching them all because you're going to get some really good tips from each of them. So let's jump straight into organic social media. The likes of Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn and TikTok are amazing places for businesses to promote their products and services, seeing as there are literally millions of users on each of these platforms. So let's talk about the good points of organic social media when it comes to digital marketing and your business. The first point is that it is really easy to get started. You can even do it from your phone. All you have to do is set up an account and then set up a business page, and then you're ready to start making content and finding your potential customers on the platform. And each platform makes it very easy for you to do this. You just have to go through a step-by-step process to make either your account or your page, and then you're ready to go. And then the next point is that it is free, or at least from a monetary point of view. It does take your time to make the content, put it up, engage with other people and to get the ball rolling, but from a monetary point of view, it is completely free. As well as it being easy to join and free, it's a pretty low barrier to entry. You're probably already using social media, so you understand how the platforms work. So turning that into using it for business isn't that hard to do. You probably already understand how the Facebook feed works, for example, so when you're making content for the Facebook feed, you might know already what stands out and what makes you interested in reading the post or clicking through to a website. So you can extrapolate that information and then use it for your business. And then the final point I want to bring up is that it has been pivotal for so many businesses out there to make huge brands. Organic social media has really skyrocketed a lot of businesses out there and turned them from a small business to a medium business to then a large business. So with all this success out there, why can't it be yours as well? So now let's talk about the disadvantages. And the first one I want to bring up is that usually it is going to be slow to get results and take quite a lot of time. You're going to have to build up your following slowly, get your first follower, then your first 10 followers, your first 100 followers, and build up slowly like that. You're not just overnight going to be getting 1 million followers, unless you get a bit lucky. And a lot of businesses out there want results straight away, so just be aware that that's probably not going to happen. It is going to be a slow build, but when you get there, it's going to be really great returns. The second disadvantage is that there can be quite a lot of work to be done correctly. There's a lot of businesses out there that are just throwing up content ad hoc and putting up information that no one really cares about and not getting the returns because they think they can just throw it up and leave it, and that's what social media is. But really you should be planning your content, creating engaging graphics and videos, you should be engaging with people, and there's lots of work to be done before you even see any results. Which brings me on to my next point, that you may need some basic skills in making graphics or videos to really make sure that your posts do stand out. You can just take photos and put them up, but most of the platforms are now moving to video, so you're really going to need to get comfortable with video and video editing. And then the final disadvantage is that when you do get the engagement, when you get the comments and the shares, you really have to stay on top of it. There's lots of businesses out there that have come victim to negative comments and then they've taken too long to get back to them, so there's been a snowball effect of other people jumping on the bandwagon and it's had a negative effect on their brand. So you really need to stay on top of the comments you're getting, on the engagement you're getting, to make sure that it is what you want. So now let's move on to the second strategy, which is social media ads. As well as just posting organically on these social media platforms, you can pay for your posts to be shown in front of certain people. For example, on LinkedIn, you can pay to have your ad shown in front of people with a certain job title. So let's jump straight into the advantages, the first of which is that most people are on social media, so it's relatively easy to get in front of the right people. You'll just need to do a bit of research to find out what platform they're on and how to target them. But as most people are on social media nowadays, it shouldn't take too long to work out where they are and how you can target them. The next advantage is that it's relatively cheap when you compare it to other marketing techniques such as billboards, TV ads or radio ads. There are loads of companies out there that have got amazing results on social media ads with a relatively low budget, and there's no reason you can't either. And then the final advantage is that it's really good for brand awareness because you are showing your brand in front of the people that are your potential customers. With organic social media, you're going to have to build this up slowly, but when you're paying, the platform will put it right in front of the people as soon as you start paying. So as well as generating sales, you can also get brand awareness and get your brand known by the people you want it known by. So when we go to the disadvantage, the first of which is that you're going to have to make really good content because you're now putting money behind it. So you want it to be the best and actually convert, which means your skills in making graphics or videos has to go up to the next level, or you have to pay someone to be able to do it for you. Another disadvantage over strategies like organic social media or SEO, which we're going to come into later, is that you do have to pay. And although, as I said, it's not as expensive as other marketing costs, it is still money that you're going to have to front, and then hopefully you will get the return. And then the final disadvantage is that although it's relatively easy to get going, it's pretty hard to master. It doesn't take long for you to put an ad together, put it up live and get it in front of the right people. But then being able to look at the data, see what that means, and then edit it to make sure that your returns are the best they can be, that is where it gets a bit more difficult. But if that's what you're looking to do, make sure to subscribe to this channel because we're going to be putting up loads more content about social media ads to help you up your game. Now I'm going to pass over to Alicia, our Google specialist, who's going to be talking about SEO and Google Ads.
Thanks, Joe. So I'm going to be talking to you a bit about Google and SEO, and I'm going to start off with Google Ads. Google's been a leader in online marketing in a number of years now, so most marketers will use them in some way or another. They're bringing in new features all the time, so they're constantly becoming more attractive to new businesses. Google Ads is relatively easy to set up, it's fast, and you can get ads running within a couple of days. So the main pro of Google Ads is that it has an active market. Essentially what that means is the people that are searching for you find you. It's keyword based, so obviously the things that they're typing in are the things that you're going to be bidding on, and therefore they're going to be looking for your products or services. This means that they're already in the mindset to become customers, so they might as well become yours. Google Ads is more than just the text ads you see in search. It covers a lot of things such as YouTube and shopping. This means that most industries, Google has something that will cover you. Like everything, obviously Google Ads does have its cons, and one of those would be if you don't really know what you're doing, it's easy to overspend. My advice for this is to avoid overusing broad match keywords. Broad match gets you in front of the most people, but obviously they might not be looking for exactly your product. But each of those clicks is still going to cost you money, even if they don't convert. I recommend at the beginning of a brand new campaign to use phrase match keywords more than anything else. Phrase match will basically promise that you're going to get exactly that keyword, including other words around it, but they're going to be more likely to convert. Obviously you won't get as much search, but it's going to be far more focused. The second downside of Google Ads is their smart campaigns. A lot of people, including most marketers, will tell you that they're not as good as they seem to be. They're incredibly attractive to people who don't really know what they're doing when it comes to Google Ads, but unfortunately they take away a lot of the optimization that you can do. This basically means that you can't ever really improve the performance of a smart campaign. It limits the amount of negative keywords you can add, it limits the kind of ad text you can use. Essentially, it is just Google taking your money and spending it as it pleases. So that's enough of Google Ads. I'm going to move on to SEO, which stands for Search Engine Optimization. SEO has been a favourite in marketers for a number of years now because of its effectiveness. Studies have shown that 75% of people just scroll straight past ads. So it's important to be ranking organically to capture that market. The biggest pro when it comes to SEO is it's free. While you may want to hire a professional SEO, you don't have to. And there's a lot of bits that you can do on your own. Local SEO is a great place to start, and it's easy to set up, and you don't need a hell of a lot of technical knowledge. Unlike Google Ads, there's no account that needs to be set up. Obviously there'll be things that we recommend, but there's nothing that needs to be done. Obviously the biggest downside to SEO is it's slow. It will take even an older website around 3 months to get ranking. And for a brand new site, it may be even longer than that. And even a professional can't really promise you any guaranteed results from it. So that's everything when it comes to Google and SEO. So I'm going to pass you back over to Joe, and he's going to talk to you a little bit about influencer marketing.
Influencers have been around for a long time, mainly in the way of celebrities, but now really anyone can become an influencer because of social media. And this means that businesses of all sizes can use influencers to promote their products or services. They do this by paying them to make posts on their platforms to their audience. And many businesses have got huge success by doing this. So let's talk about the advantages of influencer marketing first. So influencer marketing as it is now is still relatively new, which means there's a lot of influencers out there which don't really know their own worth. Which means you can probably find influencers out there that are willing to promote your products or services for a much cheaper rate than they should. And sometimes they even do it by you just giving them a free product. So if you find the right influencers, this can be a really cheap way to promote your business. Advantage number 2 is that it's a great way to build trust with their audience. Influencers generally have a very good influence over their audience, hence the name, which means their audience trusts them. So if they're saying that your product is great and that they should go and buy it, a lot of them are going to buy it, and then they're going to bring that trust over to your brand and your business. And then the final advantage is that the influencer is going to make the content for you. So if you're not very good at making graphics or making videos, you can give it to the influencer, pay them, they're going to create content that you can then reuse in your own social media. And now as we go on to the disadvantages, the first one is just the opposite of the first advantage I spoke about. Because it's hard to know the worth of an influencer, you could find yourself overpaying. Some influencers might be asking for more than they're actually worth, and if you go ahead and sign a deal with them, you're going to end up paying more than you actually get back from their influence. The second disadvantage is that you are now tying your brand and your company to that influencer. So if later down the line the influencer does something which others don't agree with, your brand might be hurt by it. This happened quite a few times over the years, so just do a bit of research and make sure you do know what the influencer is about and that you trust them before you go ahead and sign a deal with them. And then the final disadvantage is, depending on your product or service, it can actually be quite hard to find an influencer that is in the right space and willing to work for you. You can spend hours or even days emailing and messaging influencers to get no reply at all. And then when you do get a reply from an influencer that's willing to work with you, you can give them the money and then you don't get the return that you were hoping. So just bear that in mind if you are going to give influencer marketing a go, that it can take time to find the right influencer. So there you have it. There are the 5 most common digital marketing strategies that you can go and use for your business right away. If you did find value in this video, please do give it a like, and to see more content like this, make sure to subscribe, as we'll be posting loads more content about all 5 of these digital marketing strategies. And if you do want to see another video from us, click here, and this is going to give you so much value in your business.